Welcome guys. The first-person shooter style can be considered as one of the most important styles of video games. In this video, we will introduce the top 10 guns of FPS titles. Over recent years, shooter style or first-person shooting has always hosted some of the most important, popular and original video game collections in history, and we will introduce the top 10 guns among these works in this video. It doesn't matter how good the storylines or characters from first-person shooter titles are, because these games can never engage gamers without exciting gameplay, guns with great physics and high performance. Titles such as Doom and Wolfenstein from Bethesda, Call of Duty from Activision, Battlefield series of Electronic Arts and Halo works from Microsoft can be considered as iconic first-person shooting games. One of the reasons that the collections mentioned in recent years have performed very well and have been greatly welcomed by gamers is the guns they provide to their audiences. Now we have taken the task of ranking the top 10 guns in the history of first-person shooting titles. Iconic guns first-person shooter games. Before we move on to the main list of the top 10 first-person shooting titles, we'd like to introduce you to 3 guns that are not included in the list for any reason but are known as iconic video game weapons. Consider these honorary guns. Battlefield, XM8. Battlefield. Bad Company enthusiasts are likely to have spent many hours with the XM8 gun. The weapon is strong and precise, and its very good balance also makes it an iconic weapon in first-person shooter titles. Fallout. Fat Man. The Fallout series is not naturally considered to be a first-person shooter game, and its core rests on the role-playing style of the free world. However, Fallout 3 game somewhat evokes the mood of first-person shooter titles, allowing gamers to take advantage of a gun called Fat Man. The gun was firing small atom bombs, and the design was also very interesting. Call of Duty, Akimbo Model 1887. If at the time Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 didn't get an unpopular update and that gun wouldn't have been removed, it would certainly have been the Akimbo Model 1887 on our original list. The weapon contained a strange power and became one of the most popular weapons of gamers in the game in the shortest possible time. 10. Half-Life, Gravity Gun. Valve's unrepeatable game Half-Life 2, which is awaiting the release of its third version literally aging, hosted one of the most innovative guns and one of the most amazing designed physics in the history of the video game industry. A striking example was a gun that controlled the force of gravity. Gravity gun could lift almost any device and throw it at enemies with incredible force. If you find a saw blade while experiencing a long Half-Life 2 campaign, you can do some interesting things thanks to gravity gun with it. 9. Doom, Super Shotgun. ID Software Studio succeeded in creating games as a sequel to the Doom series, which, along with preserving the nostalgic sense of classics in the series, also brings stunning visual graphics and exciting gameplay. The titles of the series always host numerous guns, many of which can be included in the list, but one of the most iconic weapons in the video game industry belongs to Doom 2, a weapon we know as Super Shotgun. This gun is very popular because of its unique physics and the amount of damage it causes. 8. Serious Sam, Cannon. Serious Sam titles have always been recognized as the epitome of chaos in the video game industry. In the games of this series, which have countless fans, a bunch of different enemies at the same time attack the main character of the game, and it is really a pleasure to tear them apart by the numerous weapons of the game. Gamers in this game can find different and attractive guns and enjoy shooting with them. In the meantime, however, a gun named Cannon was more welcomed by fans than others. The weapon is literally a cannon that is likely to be separated from the pirate ship's deck. With this weapon, the most ardent enemies can be killed by 2 shots, and a special account can be opened in the fight against the boss. 7. Counter-Strike, AWP. The fact that many counter-game servers have banned the use of AWP guns reflects its power, visibility and high range. In fact, when you hold this gun, you will monitor any enemy and you can take it down by firing a single shot. In fact, many guns can be used to shoot enemies in the head, but the AWP gun goes beyond the designated boundaries. In the game CS Source, you could have knocked them out by hitting a bullet into any part of the enemy's bodies. 6. Call of Duty, Ray Gun. Ray gun became one of the most important guns in the series thanks to the introduction of zombie mode in Call of Duty, World at War in 2008. Before the addition of strange and unique weapons to zombie mode in Call of Duty series games, gamers have always been aiming to take over ray gun, pack-a-punch it, and cut short a crap while pressing the firing button, as it automatically kills all zombies. Gamers always want such guns in newer Call of Duty series games. 5. Halo, Energy Sword. Video games don't just include firearms, and Halo's game showed us that you can go to cannon and gun battles with swords. The energy sword weapon itself can be more dangerous than any other weapon and simply be included in our list. It is a shining sword with a charming appearance that kills enemies in a few strokes. If one of the people in Halo's title lobby dominates the weapon's capabilities, the rest of the gamers will have a very difficult job of defeating it. It's the only cold weapon on our list. 4. Call of Duty, ACR. Although Call of Duty 4 established the core of the online modes of the Call of Duty series and generally a huge number of multiplayer modes in shooter first-person games, Modern Warfare 2 brought this issue to maturity and evolution. If you've been lucky enough to experience Modern Warfare 2 at the time of launch, you've undoubtedly used an ACR gun many times. The gun was suitable for almost all gamers of any style of play. The sound, the physics, the power and the range of this weapon were great. These guns turn the weapon into one of the best guns in the first-person shooting titles. 3. GoldenEye, Golden Gun. If one of your competitors had won the GoldenEye gun in the GoldenEye game, you would have to check all the strategies to beat him. It is considered one of the best guns of shooters' first-person titles, which was made available to gamers in the multiplayer section of the legendary GoldenEye game. When one of the gamers took up the gun, terrible anxiety came to other gamers, making the game more dynamic. 2. Halo, Battle Rifle. Halo's game is so big and popular that it alone hosts 2 guns on our roster. The game hosted another memorable and lavish gun whose holders could effortlessly knock out a large number of gamers. It may not have some of the deadly features that other guns on the list have, but there are instances, including being a proprietary MasterChef weapon that distinguishes Battle Rifle from others. Thus, after the popularity of Halo's multiplayer titles on the Xbox 360 console in the mid-2000s, the gun became one of the most important weapons of first-person shooter games. 1. Doom, BFG. The BFG gun, which you can see on the internet as its full name, alone can take a few rankings from our list. It can be considered the most important and powerful weapon of shooters' first-person games. Contrary to its name, the BFG is not so big, but the reason for this naming is its ability to massacre enemies. Pressing the trigger for a gun emits a giant ball of explosive plasma that essentially acts as a nuclear weapon and eliminates any enemy around you. It should be noted that there was an up-to-date example of this gun at the Doom 2016 game, which reflects the importance and popularity of the BFG among fans. The aforementioned weapons are considered to be the top guns of the first-person shooter games, respectively. In your opinion, which of the other guns could have been included in our list?